Alright, Marvel Rivals gamers, let's talk about it. Ultron, and why does this character feel like he is underwhelming, or why does he essentially suck? Because a lot of people are talking about it. So, for starters, I want to talk about actually the team up, because I was super hyped that he gets this giant beam, which you guys are going to see me use, and he's going to be able to do damage and heal. He was kind of supposed to be the strategist that is able to do big damage, and I was super underwhelmed first off by the team up. Now, to be fair though, he is a strategist, so you'd think that he would be able to heal them, and I would say, at least with the beam, I think it could be a little bit more in the offensive category. It just kind of tickles them. If you've played the brand new Jeff that can do damage and heal at the same time, it kind of feels like that. It didn't feel like this super awesome ability. If they want to reduce the cooldown on it to make it do like big damage, but like you can maybe get like one quick pick, but then it goes away real fast, versus lasting a long time, because a lot of the team ups in general feel a lot more powerful in the other category. Like if you look at the new support one that you get with Luna, like Luna Hawkeye, that is like an actual, like, okay, you can get a pick with it, but this is like, it's barely usable, and it also kind of ruins the way that the character was designed, because he's supposed to be an offensive one, right? This doesn't really do that much damage. It's basically used kind of just to heal your teammates, and while it does give him another heal ability, because you can only really throw the little drones, and then you sit there and you just kind of wait for your right click, it does give him the ability to heal even more. But I would say the way he's designed is more offensive support, so I think that it could do definitely a little bit more damage. But the real reason why I think a lot of people don't like this character, and why a lot of people, including myself, think he sucks, we gotta talk about the ultimate, man. So the Rage of Ultron is absolutely terrible. I want to go ahead and fast forward to a clip over here where we're playing, and we actually do pop our ultimate, but it doesn't even keep us up. So in this instance over here, one of our teammates gets a pick, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pop my ult to see if I can keep my Emma up, and then also maybe get rid of the flyers, because she's not gonna be able to get rid of those. I popped my ultimate over there. I couldn't even kill one of the Iron Mans that was just flying in the sky, and we just kind of get hit by the Namor over here. Now, most of the support ults, if you pop them, you are basically immortal. Unless they pop another ultimate, it's very hard to burst through unless you have tons of people focusing you. And I think that that's really why a lot of people feel like this character sucks, because you're unable to really secure a lot of kills with this ability, because it doesn't do crazy DPS. It does do pretty good heal, and the healing is enough for sure to keep your team up, but I think the main reason why people don't like this character on their team, if they are running just, let's say, 2 strategists, keep in mind this is like a brand new character, so it's going to take time for people to learn, but a lot of people will absolutely learn that if he pops his ultimate, you can just pop your duelist or DPS ult, you eliminate him like instantly. He's basically free fodder when he is popping his ult, because, well, he's going to want to try to get some, damage in. But a lot of times, you're only going to be really utilizing it for the defensive purposes. And he doesn't have enough output on the heal to really keep himself alive, unless he's able to go ahead and throw the drones on another flyer, sit next to the flyer, and then pop the ult. And then you have like an okay amount of healing. But again, a lot of times, you're popping the support or strategist ultimate in response to another ult. And I think that's the real reason why he kind of sucks in most people's eyes. And that is because if another duelist pop their ultimate, majority of the time as the strategist and support player, you pop your ult in response. You can't really do that with this character, because you're just going to absolutely melt. And I think that that is the biggest issue with the character. It also doesn't have a very large heal, like in terms of like the AoE size, and I think that that is another big issue with the character. It really comes down to the ultimate, really, because I think the character actually outputs okay damage, but it doesn't have any utility to like secure kills, right? Like if you look at Luna and Mantis, which are kind of characters where you can play them offensively, the thing is that they have the freeze and the sleep, where this character, I mean, it has a way to kind of get away. You can use a short little dash, but if someone's on you and you're a flyer, maybe you can use that to break line of sight. But if you don't get help really soon, because you can't really heal yourself other than the small shield, which is on a cooldown, I want to say that you're forced to play near whoever has the drone, which a lot of times it could be the tank, because it doesn't have like infinite like range on it. And I think that that could be a part of the problem with this character. And the thing with this character, he's definitely in the offensive category. And I want to go off to where I was first checking out the character. The left click actually seems amazing, but you play it and you'll notice in a real game, like even against AI, because right now on like the test server that we have, I was only playing against AI, because that's all we had available. You hit like quick play or something, you're not going to gain a game pretty much most of the time, because there's just not enough people to have access to the Ultron, the season 2.5 at most times of the day. But nonetheless, the left click seemed pretty good, but there is damage drop-off. So you can see over here, we're kind of further away. So when you are further away with the character, you deal less damage. That's kind of normal. But the thing is that if you want to heal yourself, you would then have to throw the bubble and be next to it. You can kind of get a shield for a little bit of duration, but at some point you need to be healed. And I want to say most of the time, especially at the average / lower ranks, mainly focusing in on, let's say, someone that would be silver to, let's say, diamond. I want to say that's kind of like the majority of the player base, which is where I think they should be balancing the game at. This character is going to be really rough to play, and I want to say most people will be like, okay, you need 3 strategists to make this character work. And at that point, why not just have an extra DPS? The damage on this character is very inconsistent to actually pull off. I thought the heals were super bust because in this gameplay, I was like, how long does this thing last? And it literally lasted forever, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty OP. And I thought the character generally was going to be top tier. I'm like, yeah, I can just throw this heal on forever, and someone has infinite heals for the most part. It's really decent when you throw it on a tank and you let the tanks kind of tank the damage. However, the main problem that I have with that strategy is that you can already kind of just keep your tanks up by just, actually healing them. Most of them have some sort of way to heal themselves or block damage, right? And I think that as far as this character goes, it makes it so you have to play it kind of around them. Otherwise, you're not going to get healed unless you have the other strategists actually heal you. So I would say as far as the heal thing, it kind of puts you in a position where you are playing in the character's effective range, but he's a flyer. And I think that they wanted to make him basically counter dive in the sense because he's able to kind of fly in the air. So you're almost essentially immune to Black Panther. They also recently nerfed Spider-Man team up. So I was thinking, okay, so this character is designed to kind of counter dive. They also nerfed Captain America. They nerfed basically supports getting dove as much because now, well, you can't really dive them as often because again, Spider-Man nerf and then Captain America. It's a small nerf, and then the potential with this character would go up higher. But then if you want to heal yourself, you have to go and actually get close to the little ring. But then they also buffed Hela for I don't know what reason. And then they also decided to buff Punisher, which could deal with flyers. So the way I see it is that this character at the higher ranks of the game, you can maybe get value because people have better aim. But it is honestly really hard to actually get value out of this character versus, let's say, just having a Hela on your team. If you really just wanted more DPS, just throw in another DPS. The reason why is the support part of the character's kit doesn't support, I would say, enough. This is our ultimate. So you can see how small the AoE is. It does heal for a good amount. And you do need aim, so they're kind of focusing on, okay, well, you need aim to be able to get value. His left click, by the way, does not heal. It's only the shield as well as the little constant drones that will give them the healing. But as far as the ultimate goes, since it's in a small AoE area, if someone pops their offensive ult and they just focus something else, if you're not really fast on just targeting them instantly, you could just play Punisher, target one person. If Ultron is able to pull off the ultimate fast enough, because remember, he has to pop the ultimate, it takes a second, then he has to shoot a projectile that is relatively small, and if they don't, connect it immediately, I mean, if you're playing Punisher, that ultimate just got a buff too. You can melt a lot of the things faster than the Ultron can react, and that's the way I see the character as far as when their duelists pop the ult, you cannot survive with the Rage of Ultron, which is weird because it doesn't do incredible damage. It does do really good heals, but it's you can heal one or maybe two if they're really stacked up on top of each other. But in general, when you look at the rest of support ults, which are giant AoE, basically immortalities, compared to this does heal enough. It will definitely keep who's ever inside of that small AoE healed. But again, it comes down to kind of cloak and dagger. Sometimes your teammates just don't sit in the heal. They just walk barely off, and you're what are you doing? Just stand in there. You're just you're gonna rip if you just move to the side, and it's just a problem. That's why I would say a lot of people just kind of prefer running things like Invis-Woman's ult is actually super fantastic. But in general, most of these strategist ultimates are immortalities, and this character, it keeps a very small area immortality, so to speak. Then that's the best way to put it, and I think that is part of the problem. Also, I feel this, I already mentioned this, but this is just kind of weak. But on top of the ultimate just having small AoE and stuff, I feel that's kind of weak. The flight is okay. I think that just a small little dash, this is totally fine. I mean, if you are playing someone that's against someone that's like focusing you, it's not going to really get you out of it, but that's fine. You have like a shield. You can kind of duel with the other people. Like, he's not super like free. You can't just walk up to him and he's like, oh, he's free, right? Like, a lot of the strategists have been getting buffed. Cloak and Dagger, Mantis, they all got small like damage increases recently. So I want to say like most of the duelists, they can actually kind of fight back, and he can fight back too, but he doesn't have any utility, in my personal opinion, to really be able to help your team secure kills. I mean, yes, he can keep things alive. He does do damage, but like if you look at Mantis and Luna, they have like some sort of CC ability that like if you land that and you're playing them, like if a Luna Snow freezes you, especially at the higher ranks, they're going to destroy you every single time. If Mantis lands to sleep, they're going to destroy you. Whereas this character, it's not easy to land 2 consecutive shots. I know I showed you guys the intro clip where like you can 2-shot Luna. It's not happening in a real game. It's very, very rare, is what I should say, because yeah, maybe someone will get a clip over here, but for the most part, I think that that is a problem. So I don't know if they want to like make the left click a little bit easier, but if they want this character to be successful at launch, to give them some feedback as a Marvel Rivals partner, I want to talk about what can make him better. I think his shield's totally fine though, because he can't just have like infinite heals. I think to make this character a lot stronger and to give him feedback, to make the character a lot more enjoyable at launch, because the way I see it is he's going to come out, people are going to be like, oh, this character's so big, I don't even want to play him. And the way I see it is that a lot of people will tell whoever is playing Ultron, yo, Ultron, can you please switch? We're not getting enough value off the character. And that kind of sucks, because that's the point of like a new season, is like to play the new character. So for starters, the ultimate, he should be able to at least be almost immortal. Like, I'm not talking about like, actual immortality, but I'm saying that like he should at least be able to either heal himself or do a decent amount of damage. If they want to really live in this fantasy of like, he is the strategist that does good DPS, okay, make his ultimate like pure offensive. And that can kind of work. But again, in that clip, we did eliminate 1. I would say you can maybe eliminate 2 people, but like at that point, I wasn't even healing, right? I could just play any of the other duelists, like if I was playing Star-Lord or something, like that would have done the same thing, but more efficient, and it's way more mobility. And I feel like with Star-Lord, you get like 5Ks. With this character, good luck, dude. You can get like max 2 with the Rage of Ultron. And because it's such small, like AoE, you're not going to be able to do damage and heal unless they're right on top of each other, which is something you could go for. But again, you're just going to get focused out of the sky, especially at the higher ranks of the game. So with his ultimate, he can heal more, maybe he can do more damage. It doesn't have to be all of these, by the way. So either give him some extra healing, extra AoE, and make him a little bit more sturdy when he pops. Maybe when he pops his ult, he can get 100 shields or something. I think that would be kind of fair. Because again, he just melts so dang fast. Especially because, remember, I'm like showing you guys this gameplay against bots, and like I'm melting against the bots. And it has nothing to do with a skill issue. It's more so if you are out in the open, he just doesn't really get enough value out of the ultimate most of the time, I want to say, compared to any of the other strategies. That's the main thing that I really wanted to go over, is basically the ultimate. I think that's the real key area of why he feels like he sucks. The left click could be a lot more consistent and a little bit easier to hit, because if he's supposed to be offensive and you're only making him viable in, let's say, like, I don't know, like a Celestial Plus lobby, because the aim gets better as, you go up in the ranks, for sure. And at that point, would I rather have, like, if I'm playing in a very high ranked lobby, like let's say, well, right now GM is still in the top 1%, because now we have rank deflation, but maybe it'll inflate as they don't reset the ranks when the season goes. But let's say anywhere from GM to Celestial, that's a pretty high rank right now in the game anyways. So would I rather have someone that is a really good DPS player playing Ultron, or would I rather than have like an additional Hela, or having like an Iron Man, even if we want like a flying character to counter something? I just would rather have them on the other character, because the ultimate is just not where it's at. And that's the biggest problem with the character, is just the ultimate. If they fix the ultimate, I would say that this character will be a lot better, but I still think the left click could get a little bit, just like maybe like 10% extra like radius, so it's just a little bit easier for the players in the lower ranks to get value, because what I see is a lot of players potentially in the lower ranks, and I'm talking like silver to diamond, and this is not like any shade, it's just like comparing the lower ranks to the high ranks of the game in DPS is a pretty big difference, especially when you look at a strategist character that should be in like the harder category, as in like let's put it this way. Zenyatta in Overwatch or Adam Warlock, most of the time, if they're on your team, they suck in the lower ranks. They would get better value playing an easier character because of the aim requirements. Now, I know you don't really need aim to heal with the character, because it's just a drone that you throw on and you kind of just play DPS, right? It's that you won't get enough value from the player playing this at a lower rank if they are playing the character the way it was designed, to get like some heals, but then you kind of make up for that by being in the offensive category, maybe they can give him some sort of like CC, like a stun or something that he can land, and then at that point he would help other people secure kills or land his 2 little bursts a lot easier, because it's too hard to 2 burst. But if you played like Snow or Mantis, it's a lot more consistent with those 2 characters that are kind of like offensive strategists, so to speak, or even like Adam Warlock can consistently output more damage than this character consistently, again, is kind of the key word here. Although with Adam, I want to say that character is very feast or famine, and there's only a few handful characters that he can actually really work well with, which is like the team up combo where you the Mantis and the Star-Lord get the revive. There are certain compositions, I get it, where he can get a little bit more value, but like this character for the team up, I feel like the team up is basically just Jeff's new left click right now. But anyways, that's my suggestions, and that's kind of why I think the character sucks. But yeah, just buff up the ultimate and then make the left click a little bit easier, and I think we got a character that can be better, and this will get more people excited about the new season, because I would say it's disappointing to come into a new season with a new hero and then the hero sucks, and then everyone's just like, ah, character sucks. If you guys remember when like Life Weaver first came out, they buffed that character like 10 times because the character just sucked, and I would rather the character be too OP and then they have to nerf it, or we could just ban the character, you know, if it's too OP, but he needs to be able to come out and people are like, wow, this character's cool, you know, in the new season, or wow, he's so OP, you need to ban it, versus underwhelming. That's the way I see it, but you guys can let me know your thoughts down below. But yeah, I think Ultron sucks, but those are the suggestions I have for the Marvel Rivals team. But anyways, subscribe, turn the bell if you're new if you want to see more stuff, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. But also let me know your thoughts on Ultron if you played him or just via the gameplay.